I'm about to tell you that I want an epidural, but I really don't mean it. You know what? I have so many questions. I need to do this. I really need to do this. I'm just telling you, make sure you know what you're doing. Having a third kid within 4 years is a lot. Okie dokie, it has been quite a few 2 weeks. I feel like it's always crazy around here. I mean, who am I kidding? But I currently have a Luna on ABC Mouse. We succumbed to that because, you know, we just decided, like, you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know, we're just like, oh, no screen time, da-da-da. But she's learning, and we don't have a babysitter or a regular nanny anymore. So we figured at times there are moments where she can sit while I get some work done. So I just did some computer work. Makoa and Osa are both taking naps. Nick is at jiu-jitsu, he'll probably walk in any minute. And then I woke up really early and Makoa and I flew back, but I don't know if you can hear, but I'm a little nasally. The kids were kind of like coughing earlier in the week, and then whenever I got back from my trip, both Makoa and I got sick. Nick got a little like stuffy nose, but that man's immune system is wild. Like, he didn't get sick, of course. But I just did a bunch of neti pot to get myself uncongested or decongested, uncongested. Who says that? Me. That's who says it. But as you can tell, I still am, but it's okay. Took some elderberry, lots of manuka honey, you know, all the crunchy stuff. I almost bought some Mucinex, but I didn't. I feel amazing. Anyway, I wanted to answer some questions from my IG that I got a few weeks ago. There's a little mix of everything. First thing that someone asked was, what prenatal vitamins do I recommend? So when I first was pregnant, or when I was planning to be pregnant, my OB suggested this really awesome prenatal pack that I originally started with, but since then, you know, I've gone like full crunchy, or at least semi-crunchy, and have picked different options. So I've been going with Ritual. I love Ritual not only because it's a popular brand, but because they are made traceable ingredients, so you like can actually figure out where the products are coming from or where the key ingredients are coming from. So I do partner with them, so just a heads up, this is not sponsored, but that is the prenatal and the postpartum pill that I take daily. But if you just take the prenatal itself, it's important to also do some sort of like fish oil or something. So I usually do Thorn fish oil along with that, but Ritual also has an omega that you can take too. So whether you are prenatal or you're planning on getting pregnant, it's important to take a prenatal. But what I love about Ritual specifically is that they have a postnatal pill, which is specific for postpartum. Definitely recommend looking into that. Someone asked, did you use any belly band after having a baby? So I feel like belly bands have this, not a negative connotation, but people think that a belly band is like just for tightening and like shrinking your belly. It's not just for that. It's actually really good to support your pelvic floor postpartum. I did actually use a belly band. After having a baby, I used the brand Love Steady. I love their underwear that they have. They have like a postpartum bloomer, but I also wore it when I was pregnant. But they also have a belly band that you can use. So theirs is my personal favorite. Definitely worth the investment. It's not cheap, but I felt like really supported, especially having a baby for the third time in 4 years. Like, I felt it more than ever during this third time. I didn't do it the first and second, but I remember the third, I was like, oh, I really need this pelvic support. And, you know, my pelvic therapist also suggested as well. So know that it's not just about like shrinking your belly or tightening your belly. It's about supporting your pelvic floor to help you feel that re-engagement. But of course, y'all know that I'm always going to advocate for making sure you're practicing your pelvic floor breaths and all that, which I have on BGTV. I have like a whole postpartum restore program that highly recommend women do even before they start working out. You can even do a lot of the movements before you hit that 6-week mark. I do my pelvic floor work even now, 5 months postpartum. So highly recommend, especially if you're someone that feels like you're leaking or you're like disconnected to your breath. Really important. Someone said, please do a what I eat in the day. I need to do this. I really need to do this. People are always asking me for this, so stay tuned for that. I think that's a really good video that I'll do. More kids? We want to. We definitely want to have more kids at some point. I feel like, where's Aluna going? Oh, she's going potty. Okay. We have definitely decided we want at least 4, maybe 5. I've even told Nick the other day, I was like, I don't know if maybe 5, but I'm going to be 39 this year. So if the Lord blesses us with another child in the next year or 2, maybe we'll go for 5. But I feel like if I'm getting closer to 42 when we get our 4th, I might be like, okay, I think I'm good. So, yeah, I think after that we'll be good on the on the kids, but only God knows. Anyway, someone asks, what is the most challenging thing for you right now? Well, the most challenging thing really is just like trying to feel like I can do it all. Having a 3rd kid within 4 years is a lot. And having 1 kid, 2 kids, no matter how many kids, it's just a lot. And I obviously love them so much, but we are doing this by ourselves really. I mean, we have family here, but like we don't take them to the daycare. We try not to do screen time. Obviously we're doing ABC Mouse, but like we just try our best to do everything, and that's the most challenging thing, is we think we can do everything, but we can't. You know, me as a working mom, and I love to still, you know, focus on training and helping my clients and still do my work with Nike, but then also work on my BGTV app and still create content. Like, I have to realize that I can't do it all. And I really know that it's important to share that and to be really real about it. And I'll be real, our house is a mess all the time. Like, there is stuff on our tables, like our sink is always dirty. And so that is the most challenging thing, like thinking that you can do it all, because I know we can't, but I still want to. So I'm just really trying to embrace that a lot more, just being okay with that. Well, yeah, moving on to the next question. Someone said, do you consume protein powder? What's your fave? Yes, I do. I do on a daily. I have worked with Isopure in the past, and I love Isopure. I do love Ancient Nutrition as well. Both of those are 2 of my favorite. I love that Ancient Nutrition has an A2, which is easier to digest if you're someone that has a lactose intolerance. So, need water. So those 2 are my favorite. Typically when you're looking for any sort of protein, if you like the whey protein, I prefer an isolate versus a concentrate, just higher quality, just the way it's manufactured and in the process, and usually like less, like higher quality overall. So when you're looking for something, I typically personally love isolate, just FYI. Tips for an unmedicated hospital birth for a first-time mom due next month. Nervous about pain. Yes, love this. Watch a lot of videos. I have a video on mine. I feel like when you see it, you can kind of see yourself there a little more. You kind of know what to expect. You may take a class, and I think that's very helpful as well. Like taking a class from a doula or somebody that's experienced or encourages unmedicated births are really important, because there are a lot of hospitals that will teach you how to, what happens in birth, but like just the typical process of like, you know, maybe an induction, this and that. And then it's important to know your options, but taking it from someone that has more of a passion for the unmedicated birth is really important. I think the more you know, or the more you could see yourself there and have those like North Stars where you can see what happens during that moment is really important, because that transition moment where like you go from, you know, getting closer and then you're about to push, it's intense, y'all. Like you literally think you cannot do it anymore. Like even my midwife told her midwife when she was having a baby, I'm about to tell you that I want an epidural, but I really don't mean it. Like, she's so chill, but like you actually think you want an epidural at that point, but like you're about to push, and it means the baby's close. So just a heads up, like just know it's intense, but know that you're really capable of doing it. And when you could see other women have gone through it, I think that's really powerful. I did a lot of prayer, a lot of meditations, a lot of training myself to feel pain. I know that sounds weird, but like little things like holding cold ice cubes to distract yourself and just breathe. I also loved having a labor comb in my hand. So every time I went through a contraction, I held a comb to like hit into my hand, and that gave me like this pain sensation to focus on, because your body can only really concentrate on one, pain point at a time. So I would just like grip onto this, like I had like little marks from the comb into my hand. So that's really amazing, and that helped really helped a lot. Someone asked, how are your bees? I have a most recent update on there on my channel. But currently, as of today, they're doing great. They're thriving. I see them like super busy all the time. I haven't done a check recently because I just kind of want to leave them alone. So hopefully they're good. Do you have childcare help at home? I just mentioned we actually don't anymore. We used to have someone that worked for 15 hours a week, Michelle, Nick's cousin, but she actually got a new volunteer gig because she wants to be a teacher. So we were like, you know what, let's save some money. Let's just try to do it ourselves. And it's a lot, but we're having a good time. We're really, really grateful though that we can work from home and our schedules are very flexible, so we can do that. Yeah, we're managing 3 kids of ourselves. You know what? I have so many questions. I might split this up into 2. This is part 1. The workout tips for a first-time pregnant lady. I'm 8.5 weeks along, so when I posted this, now she's probably getting out of her first trimester. Do what you can. That is my number 1 goal, is do what you can and celebrate those small wins, because every time you have a small win and you can celebrate them, they're just gonna keep getting you more and more motivated. But with all that being said, there are things you need to be careful of. For the most part, you can keep doing what you've been doing. Things to watch out for is obviously you don't want to have too much shortness of breath. You don't want to be too lightheaded. Make sure you're fueled enough. Make sure you're hydrated. That's really important. If you're someone that used to go hard prior to pregnancy, go for it. Dynamic moves, you obviously want to assess if the risk is really outweighs the reward of the exercise. So like if you're doing box jumps and like you're doing something really high and there's a high risk factor of you falling off the box, probably shouldn't do it. But if you're like someone that's been doing like 12-inch box jumps, like easy, you're probably safe. Hey, I'm just telling you, make sure you know what you're doing when you're doing that, but also that your doctor has cleared you and you don't have a high risk pregnancy. But also just thinking of making sure you're not crunching with your abs to get up and down. Like I know for me, I can like crunch myself up. It's always important to lay on your side and push yourself up, especially as you get into those later points of pregnancy, because you don't want to have too much abdominal pressure. The main thing is managing that intra-abdominal pressure, so you're not like wringing your core, so you might hear no rotation. So like your shoulders and your hips shouldn't go in the opposite direction. You can do rotation as long as your hips and shoulders are staying in a line. So here, I'm just gonna go like this. So like here, if you're like going like this, that's an okay rotation, like this, but you can't like twist like that, okay? Just think about it. If you have multiple kids and you're in the car, how many times are you going like this and like grabbing things from them or whatever? Rotation is necessary, and doing it in a controlled environment where you can just really manage your pressure is important. So just think of that when it comes to rotation. Working out while pregnant, the biggest myth I hear is that you shouldn't be doing anything that you haven't been doing before. Real quick tip, and I'll round out this Q&A episode. That is BS, because if you are someone that's never worked out before, never done strength training before, and you are pregnant and you want to do strength training, it is actually okay for you to do that as long as you're doing it under the support of someone that knows what they're doing. So a prenatal, postpartum certified trainer, your doctor has cleared you for this exercise. You're not getting your heart rate up too excessively where you're obviously hitting your max heart rate and you've never done that before. And obviously low risk with your pregnancy. It's actually really good for you to do strength training if you've never strength trained before and you are pregnant, as long as it's safe. because you're actually setting yourself up for success postpartum. Your body's going to be changing so much whenever you are pregnant. So being able to support your posture, your back muscles, your hips, and the back side of your body to support as your belly is growing is so important. But then also, whenever you have your baby, you're gonna have to hold your baby. You're gonna have to carry baby bags. You're gonna have to carry the car seat and all of these things. So being able to train yourself to feel strong in these everyday activities in a controlled environment is gonna set you up for success when you have to do those things in real life postpartum. So just a few tips for you. I have a lot of other really great questions, but I'll just have to do them the next time because these are all really, really great. Okay. I'd love to answer more of these in the next episode. Sound good? And if you have any questions too, make sure you leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear and I'd love to answer them. Peace.